Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie. I am going to be talking about the pros and cons about adopting an animal before you purchase from a breeder. I have 3 pros and cons for each of them. Hi everyone, I am here to talk about some pros and cons about the differences in adopting versus purchasing from a breeder. I have always wanted a loving family dog that does well with kids in case I decided to have my own family in the future. But the question is, should I purchase it from a breeder or find a dog that I want to adopt? There are a lot of pros and cons that come with adopting a pet from rescues or shelters. But here are just a few. A few of the pros that I have thought of: you are able to save a life. There's about 3 to 6 million animals that are euthanized each year in the shelters due to not having enough room in the shelters. Shelters are supposed to be more for a temporary services and not being a permanent home for a lot of the animals. If you take a shelter from, or an animal from a shelter, you are giving that animal a second chance. Adoption does cost less if you want to than a breeder. Pets in shelters are usually already spayed and neutered. Usually they're already have been dewormed and updated on all of their shots. Also, most shelters are guaranteed the pet's health before you take the pet home. Along with the pros, there are a few cons that come with adopting an animal from a shelter. You hear a lot of people that talk about how they want to know exactly what they're getting in an animal, so they tend to stay away from shelters because they don't know the animal's history. You may not get the dog you can compete best of breed with right off the bat. Many times you may have to train the dogs and everything like that. Hold on. Along with all the pros and cons of adopting a pet, there are similar pros and cons of purchasing it from a breeder. A few pros that go along with finding the right dog from a breeder are: you will be able to pick out what breed and color of the pet you would like to have. There are some people that want to have certain colors or schemes or what their pet would look like. It is far from predictable on what exactly you will be getting. You will know the full history of the mom and dad for that little animal. You will know the full history of the animal's pet's history, like the health history. Many people want to do the shows or best pet for their animal or their family and stuff like that, so they will research the breeds, similar, what is that word?
Characteristics.
Yeah, characteristics. So that's why they kind of go with the breeder. Even though many people think there is not a disadvantage with getting a pet from a breeder, but there are very similar to advantages of adopting. Purchasing from a breeder can be very expensive. Breeders, it costs the breeder themselves a whole lot of money, from hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you have to get all the right licensing and certifications. So because of that, they will definitely charge hundreds and thousands of dollars for each little puppy or cat. With that doesn't come with the shots, deworming, or spaying or neutering that animal. So needless to say, that costs a lot more money. Although there are many pros and cons on adopting and purchasing a pet from a breeder, everyone is going to have their own expectations in finding the perfect pet for their household. It is saving a life and finding credible breeders. There is an animal that is going to have a loving, warm home to go to.